Hello, I'm Dave Thompson. I am the director of the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. And if you've listened to us for the last two seasons, you know that this is another episode of Beyond Clean. Now, Beyond Clean has been on for now, well, we're going on our third season. This is episode 2 for this year. And if you've been following, you know we're on YouTube, got all the videos there. And just released last year, we have our own podcast channel. So you might be listening to us on that podcast channel, and we really appreciate that. Now, today, our focus is going to be on, well, how to add revenue and how to build a different type of relationship in the 21st century. But I don't do this all by myself, so let me introduce you to David Swindle. He is on live with me from California. You know I'm from Orlando, so we're using technology today. So let's see if it's working. Dave, are you there?
It's working great, Dave, and thanks for having me. To everybody, it's nice to be able to meet you all. I'm Dave Swindle with A2D Cleaning Solutions out of Northern California. We're an independent consulting firm that works specifically with cleaning services and cleaning professionals, and we're excited to be working with Dave over the last year.
Now, folks, this is today. I got to tell you, this is the first time I've had this. This is the Dave and Dave show, if you didn't catch that already. All right. So, hey, our topic today is about the 21st century, how it's the world of selling has changed. And it's because, as you will listen to us, it's because of two things, the internet and the cell phone. It's actually changed the way, well, our whole relationship works. Whether we're dealing with business, whether we're dealing with family, even the personal ties that we have with people, our ideas about how to build trust and how to connect has changed. It's affected our sales process. You know something I learned, Dave? You probably
What's that, Dave?
Now, I don't know if you've heard this or not, but, and I can say this because I'm over 45, but most people that are under 45, they've never used their cell phone to actually have a verbal conversation.
No, I think it's something like this, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I've got one, but you know, I still use it for making phone calls. And if you're under 45, I was astounded by that.
No, it's texting, it's games, all the fun stuff on there.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a phone. It's a computer.
Not anymore, Dave. Not anymore.
I think you're right. You know, the thing here is if you've been in distribution, and Dave and I have both been in distribution, I'm not going to talk about how long because
it's been a while.
Yeah. And what's, interesting as I thought about this, Dave, we're both out of distribution now.
You know, and it's been a long time of being on that side of the fence. And I actually was on the manufacturing side as well for a while. Now you're right. We're out of distribution. We're working as consultants, trainers.
Yes. I think we both recognize that there is a whole different way of going about this. Now, just because we're both not on the street anymore, beating the shoe leather, doesn't mean that we don't know about what it takes to run a distributorship, and we still depend on distributorships.
Absolutely, it's a vital part of the business.
Well, and as you probably heard when we started, I'm working here at a distributorship. Now I just run the Academy of Cleaning Excellence, but one of the things that we also know is that I think most distributorships, and tell me if I'm wrong, Dave, they would love to be able to make money without having the cost of inventory, handling, transportation, collectibles, or am I missing it?
No, I think every distributor owner would love to be able to do that, to say, hey, let's make money and I don't have to ship anything. Tell me how to do that.
Well, and so, hey, guys, I mean, if you're listening to me, don't wreck your car. I mean, it's not something that bad. But I think the other thing is would they not benefit if there was a ready-built, plug-and-play way to use technology that they could just say, here it is, and it would help them make a more revenue and build a different relationship?
I think everybody's looking for those tools to be able to do their jobs better. And, we look at it. Everybody now has a tablet, they have a cell phone. But how can we use those tools to improve sales? I don't think outside of maybe CRMs, most salespeople realize that there's another way we can do it.
Well, and the thing is, what they're doing today, Dave, is they're still walking into the building the same old tired way that we've always been. And the person on the other side watching you walk through those glass doors is going, oh, well, another one of those. I mean, we're both tired of it.
Well, isn't it the question, hey, what do you need? Well, give me a quote on this. Or I don't need anything today.
Oh, those terrible words. Give me a quote.
Yeah, give me a quote. I hate those words.
Yeah, so the thing is, what we're talking about is we have to change the way that we're doing this thing. We have to recognize that relationship is different, and it's the most valuable resource a distributor has.
Well, and think about it. Who are they competing against? They're competing against the large, big distributors, the Amazons of the world and Grangers. And the challenge that they're faced, they can ship it. They have everything available. They're very competitive on price. So they've got to find a way to be able to offer something that the big guys can't.
But, the thing is, David, really, are they actually competing with them? Or are they really competing with themselves? Because what they haven't realized is that we all can do exactly what they're doing. We can deliver information on a 24/7, 365-day basis. We can deliver it quickly. We can make it easy. And we can do it without additional cost. But we just have to use this technology and leverage it.
Well, let's show them how.
I thought you'd never. The thing about it is if we don't go to doing it, if we don't do that, what do? We do exactly what everybody's always done. We go back to the basics. We make more sales calls at the end of the day. We go to another building and let's see if we can get past the gatekeeper. Does it work?
Isn't that called the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result?
Well, I guess it is. I mean, you brought it up, not me, Dave. I'm not. I'm not going to call somebody insane, but it is. And the thing here is while we're beating the street doing the same thing, another distributor, which you named them by name, what are they doing? They're beating us to the whole thing. They're bringing the information because they're doing it these ways. Now, so what we've done is we've kind of went in and looked at this. I work for like a third generation distributorship. There's people who have nurtured this and they've built this and it's something that they love. But if you don't bring in what we've done here, what's going to happen?
Yeah, if you don't change and adapt, well, we know what happens. Companies have died because of that. So you have to continue to grow and use the technology that's available.
Well, you know what? We wouldn't be on here talking to Dave if we hadn't found an answer, would we?
And I think that's how we're doing it, right? Using that technology.
So you're wanting me to tell them how we did it, right?
I think so. I think everybody's waiting to hear, what are we doing here?
Okay, so here's the reality of this, folks. If nobody's actually said this to you, we're living in two worlds. One is the reality world. That's that cell phone talking to somebody, okay, picking this up and actually talking to a person. And the other is the virtual side, where they use the internet, the texting, the gamification, and all of that stuff. Here's a tricky thing. You've got to balance between these two. And the salesperson today hasn't learned, by and large, and I'm not saying everybody, so don't go getting all excited. I didn't pinpoint everybody, but isn't this right? Most of the salespeople out there, and even distributor owners, haven't figured this out yet.
No, everybody's still, when we look at it, they're still doing the same thing. So again, how do they go about utilizing this technologies?
Well, I will tell you here, Jim Supply, the Academy of Cleaning Excellence, we have figured out how to use live virtual keynote addresses, doing the same thing as what you and I are doing today. And by doing this, we can be product agnostic because this is simply education. We also can use different ways of doing this through a low-cost method. And this is real time. This is not something that's recorded on a DVD and here we taped this 5 years ago. This is real time, and I think that's bringing these two worlds together.
It becomes very interactive, just like what we're doing here, Dave, where we're communicating, we're doing it live, but we're also completely interacting with each other as if we're just in the same room.
Well, I guess whenever this technology came about, it was called video conferencing. Today we call it virtual reality. VR is coming soon. We haven't quite got there yet, but we're getting towards that. This is the way business is today. Well, you don't have the money. You don't have the money for me to fly to California, and I don't have it to fly you back to Florida.
That's exactly it. I'm out here, and for us to be able to work together and be able to help a customer, this technology, this ability to work virtually and also be in reality where we're face-to-face as a distributor, but utilizing you in a virtual live setting really puts together the best of both worlds.
Well, it puts the best of all of our worlds, and it's a win-win for everybody that's involved. One of the things that we found out, and I'm going to tell the audience what we did here at Gym Supply. Kathy, who's one of the salespeople on the street, she's got a customer called Talbot House. They're a workforce and a homeless shelter. And what they've done is they've sent several people through our live education. And what we've done is we blend that with gamification for the exams. And what this does is it brings a whole different dynamic to things. So what Kathy and her clients have found out is there's a different way to use this. The other thing we found out, and this is Kathy's experience, is that there's a pull through of that thing that distributors want. What's that, Dave?
Oh, they absolutely want something to be unique and different. And this is unique and different. And by the way, did you make up that word gamification?
No. Gamification's been on, but there's different versions of gamification. And so what we're not talking about, this is not playing, gosh, I don't want to date myself, but there's all kinds of the games out there. And I can tell you, back in my day, it was Galaxy and Asteroids. That was the early versions. We're talking about how to use this, because this is what we found out. Every time that you go to talk to somebody, every time you're working with them, this is what they're on.
Oh, absolutely. And we've seen it at seminars or workshops where you go in and halfway through the program, you've lost them because somebody's on their device, they're texting their friends, whatever the case may be. I got to say, though, using gamification and using the program, we've seen the results because we worked together on the workshop that we did. And what we found is that people were interacting. They were really excited, and it created a spirit of competition that is unlike any workshop I've ever been to.
Well, and this is what you have found out. We've found out that, whenever we can bring people together, there's a whole different reaction when you work with them the way that they live, the way that they work. And so not just the gamification, because it's an intricate part, but it's not the only part. The other thing that we do with the Academy and this Rockstar program that you're going to learn about here in just a moment is that this is bringing about information to them that is product agnostic. And I think that's one of the big things that we have found in our third season here is that bringing that information to them and getting it to them and having that customer experience that you just mentioned, the interactivity, the engagement, I think that's the whole thing. But we're also balancing, these are adults. There's life happening to them as they're sitting there. And when that goes off, it's there, it's part of it. I noticed that you had something to say about, what was happening at the end of the session when we did our broadcast with you to California. I think it was January 3rd or something like that.
It was. And, it was amazing because we did the entire Rockstar program. And when you do a long program like that, we have the frontline workers there for the introductory. And then the afternoon was all the management, the team leaders. And what we found is that by the end, when you think you'd lose them, they were still completely engaged. In fact, those quizzes and using the gamification, they were, all of them, getting all the questions right. It was a question of who got it faster. But through the entire session, all the way to the end, they were completely engaged. We didn't lose anybody in that process.
You know what, that was inspiring to me as a presenter, and knowing that I was standing here in Florida and you were engaged with your team, with your client, all the way in California, and we were doing that was just, I mean, it was empowering to me.
It was, and it was amazing because it was a long session, yet we kept everybody engaged. We were able to take breaks. But you know, the other thing you mentioned about being product agnostic, it's such a powerful thing because as a distributor or as a cleaning service, being able to get this training and these tools, and yet it not being specific to a product, but it's more about a process, whether this training is for a cleaning procedure or the Rockstar program, being able to have those tools, and it's not a sales pitch,
right,
but rather a true training. I mean, that's value that a lot of customers are looking for. And as a distributor, it's a fantastic tool to be able to bring to your customer and not worry about that we're going to promote a product that they don't have available.
Well, I think that's the whole thing, and many people right now are probably going, okay, what's this Rockstar thing? And we said long day. So, you know what, folks, I don't want to make you think that this is always going to be a long thing. At this point, all we're going to ask you to do is think about this. You need a rock-solid, empowering program that's motivational, that's going to engage your clients. And what Dave and I are talking about is we found that key. That kind of, if you will, a door opener to go about this in a different way than what we've been doing. You know, you got to jumpstart this program. So the Rockstar Custodian program was inspired by a book that I read called Who Swings Your Mop? It was authored by a gentleman, Michael Ward. He's got a number of years of experience, just like Dave and I. And he has given us exclusive rights to this book to develop this program and bring the book to life. And this is what we've done. So what Dave did, and we did for, I think it was Delhi Schools or something like that.
It was. Absolutely, yeah. It's Delhi Schools. They're located in Central California.
And what we did is we did the full 5-hour presentation. Now, what we're asking you to do is just join in with us and experience the program with a 1-hour start. Now, before we get to that, I want to review exactly what you're going to get when you join the Academy of Cleaning Excellence. Now, Dave, you can jump in at any time because I think you're experiencing some of this stuff too already.
We are.
Okay.
We're excited to be part of it, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you very much. There's a number of things that you get when you join. And it's not just the Rockstar, because this is the product agnostic education. This is an interactive experience that your student's going to have. It's going to be consistent, concise. It's going to be real time. Not one of those video play, plug it in there, watch the DV that's 6 years old. You know, this is going to be using cutting edge technology. It's called virtual hands-on. Have you ever heard of that before, Dave?
You know, until I came and started working with you, Dave, as part of this program, never had heard of it. But what we're experiencing is phenomenal because we're both working together and the customer is getting valuable training from not one, but two people who are professionals who've done this, and then they get to actually do it. So a fantastic way to combine both training
Dave's
and
internet.
that experience, that all the tools, the video, everything else.
Well, you know, hey, this is the way it goes, folks. You know, whenever it's live, you know these things happen. The internet is kind of playing havoc with Dave there a little bit. So I'm going to kind of finish this up with, you know, exactly what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get you just to join in. Experience what we're talking about. Feel the passion. Feel the interactivity of your frontline custodians. We've done this with groups of 20. I've done it with a group of 300. It doesn't matter the size of group. You name the group, you bring the people, put them in the seat, and here's the best part, and every distributor in the country is going to love it. It's at no cost to you because you listened to this today. That's right, no cost. For 1 hour virtual presentation of the Rockstar program. And then let's see if you don't join in with what we're talking about and experience the same thing too. Dave, can they refuse that?
No, why would they? It's a fantastic opportunity. And honestly, I think any distributor who sees the keynote, they're going to want to show it to every one of their customers.
All right, well, I guess there's nothing more. We told them what they can get. We told them that there's no cost to join in. I mean, all we got to do is wait for somebody to join in and do what we're doing.
It's time for them to join us because honestly, this is where our industry needs to go, and it's exciting to be part of this.
Dave, I appreciate the fact that you signed in and joined in with us, and we've already put some people through the program with you. I'm just looking for more people to join across the country. We've done it here in Florida multiple different times. If you go to www.rockstarcustodian.com, you're going to see where we're going to be speaking at this spring and summer, all across, all the way from Baltimore to Texas to Arizona. Geez, we're going to be all over the place. And you know what? We're virtual, so we can be anywhere in the world.
Isn't that the power of the internet?
You know, I said coming to a place near you soon. Wherever your cell phone or your laptop or your tablet is, we're going to be right with you.
Awesome.
So all you got to do is contact us. Hey, you know what? Even if you contact Dave, he's out in California. He'd just love to talk with you and get you set up. I'm Dave Thompson.
I'm
Swindle.
Dave Swindle. Thank you.
And hey, you know all the places to get hold of us. If you've been watching on YouTube, you're going to see right down there at the bottom all the little information. If you're listening to the podcast, you can go to the podcast channel. I'm going to put the information there. If you still can't find us, just go to www.rockstarcustodian.com. You can't miss us. We're everywhere. Thanks for watching or listening, whichever one you're doing.